few deep breaths where you are. We're definitely going to get to the food in a second. I know you are instructed to go and grab your food. If you are already in the middle of grabbing your food, go ahead and complete your plate. But if not, give me just a few minutes of your time, few seconds of your time, so that we can go ahead and ground ourselves before we start the meeting. We're just going to just do one quick grounding exercise followed by an icebreaker. I like to do icebreakers. Sometimes these meetings tend to be a little, well, not Soulardarity meetings, but like organizational meetings in general tend to be a little bit stuffy. So we're going to go ahead and open up with the icebreaker. Raise your hand if you ever heard of put your finger down. Okay, so I know it's more than 3 people that heard of put your finger down. Okay, so then so put your finger down. It's just basically a game where you hold 10 fingers up. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. You put your finger down if that question pertains to you. The goal of this game is to look around at the end of the room and see how much you have in common with your neighbor, with your community, right? Very, very simple. Sometimes it's funny, like, what? You did that? Oh, yeah, me too. Okay, that's funny. Okay, so again, if you are making your plate, go ahead and complete it. But if not, give me just a few moments of your time. We're going to go ahead and start off by taking a deep breath in through the nose and releasing through the mouth. Good. If you are on your phone, I'm going to ask a big favor. If it's not an emergency, go ahead and release your phone just for a minute, I promise. I know we're attached, but just for a minute, I'm going to ask you to release your phone, ground yourself, become a part of your community. That's why we're here. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and quiet the room. We're going to go ahead and close our eyes for just a second. Sit up straight in your chair. It will help if both feet are planted firmly on the ground. It will help if your legs are not crossed so that you can absorb the energy of your community. Go ahead and quiet yourself. Go ahead and quiet your mind. Go ahead and quiet any and all outside chatter. And so we're going to go ahead and tap in really quickly, ground ourselves in this space of community. So we're going to go ahead and sit up straight, shoulders down, unclench the jaw, release work, release whatever environment you just came from. Step into this one. Let us be present together. Go ahead and take a deep breath through the nose. Let's go ahead and let it out through the mouth. Say, ah. We're going to go ahead and do that one more time. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Ground yourself, tap in, get focused. Release that breath and say, ah. Good. That was better. I think we need that deep breath one more time. So again, everybody tap in, take a deep breath in through the nose. This time we're breathing in this beautiful energy that we're creating together. Hold that breath, hold it, and release, say, ah. And in this breath, we're releasing all the things that no longer serves us in this moment. We're releasing the stresses of the day. We're releasing all the things that we need to release in this moment. Go ahead and open your eyes. Good. So we're going to go ahead and rotate our head all the way around. Just for a beat, go ahead and roll your head all the way around, loosen it up. It is a journey, not a destination, so please go as slowly as you need to. Just to loosen up just a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and go in the other direction. Good. Now we're going to go ahead and take a deep breath in, and while we're breathing in, we're going to go ahead and lift our hands all the way up, hands above head. And we're going to wiggle our fingers and allow some of that circulation to come into our arms, our fingers. We use our wrists all day on these phones. Take the wrists all the way around. It's okay. You thank me after this. I go like, what's the point of this? Ooh, this feels better. Other way around. Good. And bringing the hands back down to the side. We're going to go ahead and bring the shoulders up, down, and back. a little self-massage just to release some of the tension that we might be holding within our shoulders, in our upper back, and our back blades. Good. And lastly, we're going to go ahead and spread our arms wide and to the side, all the way. We're going to go ahead and give ourselves a big, big hug, opening up those back blades. If your shoulders are up by your ears, go ahead and drop those shoulders for me. Don't worry, you're in good hands. Outside of social media, I am a certified personal trainer and yoga instructor of 12 years. So it's okay. I got y'all. Opening those arms wide to the side and giving ourselves another big hug. Other arm goes on top. With your shoulders off to your drop those shoulders. Open up those back legs. Good. And we'll go ahead and just shake it out. Good. How do you feel? Little something. Oh, it's okay to talk back to me. How do you feel? Better, a little looser. That's okay. Cool. All right. So who's ready to jump into the swing of things? You can start playing, put your finger down, but I kind of want it to be just like kind of a communal thing. I don't want you to like have to feel like you have to stare at me like a zombie. So I'm going to say, if the spirit moves you, go ahead, please serve yourself, get your plate. If you're hungry, I'm going to start the game anyway, just, just for the people who are waiting and sitting. Okay. I have a little background music. No, it's okay if you can't. All right. So again, how do you play? We're gonna go ahead and put 10 fingers up. Let me see 10 fingers. Let me see 10 fingers. While everybody is getting their food, let me see 10 fingers. All right. Put your finger down if this is your first Soulardarity meeting, gathering of any sort. If this is your first Soulardarity gathering of any sort. All right. Okay, look around the room, see who all is in that same alignment. Put your finger down if you are in the energy, democracy, advocacy alignment. If that's your lane, if that's something that you believe in. Put your finger down, switch it up a little bit. Put your finger down if you have read a book in an entire day, one book in one day. Put your finger down, say raise your hand. Put your finger down if you've ever fallen asleep at one of these meetings. Nah, go ahead, put your finger down. Let's see if a couple fingers went down. Put your finger down if you intentionally moved your body today. Intentional movement. I'm not like, this is me moving. I don't know how intentional it is, part of the job. But intentional movement will be, I'm mindfully moving my body. I'm going for a walk. I'm stretching. Technically, all of your fingers should go down because we just did intentional movement. Put your finger down if you get 8 hours of sleep at night or more. In general, if you get 8 hours of sleep or more. Put your finger down if you enjoy being creative, crafty, arts and crafts, if that's a part of who you are. Put your finger down if you understand Soulardarity's mission. If you understand what Soulardarity is as an organization, who we are, what we provide in the community, put your finger down if you understand our mission. Put your finger down if you are ready for winter. Put your finger down if you miss summer already. Put your finger down if you've ever been detained at some sort of rally or protest. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's okay. Listen, we all have. We all have. All right. Just a few more questions left. Put your finger down if you are hungry. We're almost done. Put your finger down if you're excited to be here. Yeah. Put your finger down if you understand why you are here. Put your finger down if you want to make a change within your community. We out of fingers. Most of us are. If you are out of fingers, and if you have a few more up, go ahead and put them down. Thank you for participating and put your finger down today. Again, I am Imari Alaji. You will be seeing me throughout the course of the program to just make sure that everything runs smoothly. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to ask me or Mama Taliba at the front desk, welcome desk. We have Odessa here, we have Raphael here, we have Candace, we have Kari, we have Darius, we have Katan, we have Max. Welcome. We have Michelle, we have Monica, we have Mama Gina, and lastly, we have Mama Shamika. These are all of the Soulardarity staff. Go ahead and give it up, a little round of applause for all of our Soul staff for making this possible today, for continuing to invite us into their community, invite us into our community to educate us about why this movement is important. And they always feed us too. I say Mama Saliba. They always feed us too, so keep coming. Bring a friend next time, bring a family member. Allow this community to grow. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Mama Shamika. Go ahead, if you haven't already, fix your plate, get some food. Michelle already went over housekeeping, and enjoy yourself. Meet other people, meet your other community members. Don't leave here without introducing yourself into at least 1 to 2 people, all right? All right? All right, there we go. Oh, here you go. You want to hold it and walk?
Greetings, y'all. I hope everyone is starting to get settled in and comfortable. Y'all definitely waited long enough for us to get this ball rolling. I promise you, even though we didn't start on time, we will get out of here on time. The majority of the information that we have to share with you, am I in the shot? Okay. The majority of the information that we have to share with you, most of you already know. We're here to make sure there's at least 2 more things that you know or learn about Soulardarity. All right? That's our goal. We want to start by just thanking General Baker Institute. That's the wonderful facilities that we are here being able to have this event. And then we have delicious, all local vendors, Paradise Natural Food, and then some chicken wings from up the street because Mama Neza does healthy foods. We want it to be healthy, but also children friendly. So hope you enjoy. If you feel like you need to get up and move your body, you don't have to sit at the tables. You can sit on the floor. You can move your chair back. The tables roll. We can rearrange the room, whatever makes you comfortable. We're here just to pass on this information, share a little bit more about ourselves, our organization, and get y'all prepared to be able to join us next year as we do even bigger and more wonderful things. All right, so like I said, our agenda is not super heavy. A lot of it is going to just be interacting with one another, introducing ourselves to one another, learning more about our staff. So we did our welcome, and to add on to our welcome, I'm not sure, I wasn't in the room. I was doing operational stuff behind the scenes, but we want to just acknowledge our ancestors, those who have come before us, and that's why we have this representation here. Something really simple. We wanted to do an ofrenda display, but we did not have the person to come in and do that for us. So we just want to always think about who we're doing this work for. If it's not for just ourselves, our children, think about those who have come before us. Environmental justice, surprisingly, is many non-people like us, melanated people, that you see on the big stage with the big green. But environmental justice started out of survival for African American people. We began being the first ones to acknowledge the fact that there was too much pollution in our communities and that there was something that we needed to do about that. So I just want to give you all some grounding. All right, so about Soulardarity, we have some really cool books. If you haven't gotten one yet, staff, if you all could just like set some around the room on the table. You don't have to read this right now. This is for you to take home, but it talks all about who we are, what we do, and the bylaws, because as members, you all have rights. And not everybody may be a member at this time, but we hope that you join us soon because it allows you to have access to so many wonderful things and be a part of our community. So if you look in this booklet, it starts out with just some of the basic structure, our bylaws. If you want to get to know our staff more, there's a list of our staff and our contact information. Oh, I didn't know it had that fanciness in it. And our work email. So anytime, you know, you come to a meeting or you hear us out, and trust me, we do a lot of press releases, we do a lot of sign-on letters, we do a lot of call to action. And so, tiny one. Shh. Thank you. We do a lot. So when you hear our name, you can always use this as a reference to be able to inform your neighbors, your friends, your family about who we are and what we do. We're a really small organization. We started out with only 3 staff people. And so for a quick moment, if all of our staff could just kind of stand up and make yourselves visible. I know you kind of did this already, or come closer in a more visible way. Okay, there we go. Our team has grown tremendously, and it's one of the things that we're really proud of this year. We wanted to make sure that we had the capacity to be able to take on more members. Our team, and Ms. Racy, remembers when it was just like 10 or 15 of us in a room meeting about some of these things. And so the hard work that you see that Soulardarity is built on was built by a few, but it's time for us to grow. We need more people, we need more hands. And the African proverb says, many hands make light work. And we need for this to be a little bit lighter because it's already difficult contending with the impact of environmental justice. We're going to go through our programs and activities. We have some core programs, but then we also have coalition work. We stay busy at Soulardarity. Ask the staff. If we're not in a meeting, we're literally out in the field. And when we're not doing that, we're building and structuring and strategizing with one another. We're going to do a membership ask. And this is going to be a time we put you on the spot a little bit. So you just start getting in your minds now. You may be asked. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the benefits. We're going to talk about our very new membership tier structure. Initially, it used to just be, hey, jump in here, become a member, get in however you fit in. We're trying to be a little bit more structured now because, again, we want to grow. And so in order to be able to grow, we got to have organization. We have to have the infrastructure to be able to do so. And then we're definitely going to get into what's new for 2024. And that's where you're going to learn more about our youth engagement, volunteer opportunities, all of our different committees. We have action groups. There is no way you could possibly get bored with our organization. All right. All right. Who can I put on the spot right quick? Where's Raphael at? Nope, he left out the room. Okay, so I'm gonna do this popcorn style. What's the most important thing about Soulardarity? Oh, he asked me not to move. I'm not gonna be able to move to come to y'all. What's one of the main things that defines or makes Soulardarity unique? You can just shout it out. Streetlights. So Soulardarity started in 2012 officially, but we started organizing in 2011 when the streetlights were repossessed in Highland Park, and no one knew what to do about that. It was due to an executive decision by the city, but what we learned as we were trying to replace those streetlights, one, streetlights are expensive, especially solar power streetlights, especially if they have mesh Wi-Fi that's free for the community, especially if we're putting them on private residential property in right-of-ways. So we learned that lesson, but we also learned that there's policy work that needs to happen in order for us to be able to move as quickly as we need to. Those streetlights are still have not been replaced. And so it has not been due to the lack of impact that Solidarity has had. It's been due to the bureaucratic process. It's been due to inadequate policies at the local, state, and regional levels. So just wanted to highlight that. Is there anything else someone could tell me about Solidarity that they know that makes us unique? Fighting the man, absolutely. We recently just did a $8 million settlement with DTE. The first time we ever settled. It's the first time we ever settled, but it's also the first time that we've received funds that can be used directly to impact residents and not just used broadly. We almost never take money from DTE, and when I say almost, technically this is our first time, but we've taken them to court. This is I think our third or fourth legal intervention, and so we keep taking them to court on behalf of the people. And I could tell you so much more about dirty money and the politicians and the lobbying and all the other things, but I'm gonna save that for when you become a member. All right. We were recently featured in a documentary, which is shown here, called How to Power a City. This documentary was shown nationwide, and we held a screening over at Parker Village, one of our strong values aligned partners. And it's a really cool documentary. So if you're ever interested in learning more about Solidarity, we will in 2024 be doing another screening. And we hope to see way more people come out so we can have an engaging conversation about what it all means. Oops, did I do that? I did not do that. I'm not super tech savvy, but I got a little tech. It's time for the. Oh, yep, there we go. So if you want to view the trailer and learn more about the film, solidarity.com/Power City Film. And when we do our follow-up emails and our calls, feel free to just like jot this down or use your phone to take a picture of it. And that way we'll know to send you the link. All right, so someone said fighting the man. This is our favorite part, when we actually just get to stick it to the entity that is being the most oppressive in our communities, and we all know that that's DTE. If it's not based on the lights being repossessed, it's the high amount that our bills, 30% of our household income goes towards DTE. And so we feel that they're the major bad actors. But when we start to study the business structure of DTE, they're not like any other corporation or any other utility. But what makes DTE unique is that not only are they a monopoly here, there's no energy choice, but also their tactics are very, very predatory. Everything from their PR messaging all the way down. They'll tell you they're doing clean energy, right? They'll say community solar, for example. Community solar should mean that we own those lights or have some stakeholdership in those lights. That's not what that means. They'll say something like natural gas. Gas is not natural. It is man-made, and there's no way you can have natural gas. So there's some more information back on the table about false solutions, and you'll hear us talk a little bit more about that. But again, we're here as an educational and advocacy organization. So we're gonna try to school you along the way of getting you involved in active. So some of our best work. We know that we all have an ability to choose a different path. A lot of the work that we've done, it has spanned from literally supporting an elder to get a generator to keep their medical equipment going, to paying for someone their services to be restored, all the way to the regional and the global level. So we're going to also talk to you a little bit more about some of the convenings that we go to where we represent Highland Park, Detroit, Southeast Michigan, and we get to have our voice at a much grander stage. But we also participate in call to action. We do educational events. We also do relational organizing, which means we're going to people's houses. We're going door to door to be able to get the word out, but also just to be able to inform them of whatever is happening new within the energy sector. Oh, we're part of tons of reports. So we've generated a report called Let Communities Choose. We only have maybe a couple of copies in the back, but you can go to our website and download it. We were also a part of what's called the Energy Utilities Playbook, where we give like blow by blow how to actually address the issues if you're dealing with the energy monopoly like ours. And then we have our blueprint for energy democracy, which you'll see those really cool posters. Please feel free to take some of those because we have way too many. But it's our strategy on how we plan to address at the local level the energy inadequacies that we're seeing, the lack of access, the lack of affordability, and things of that nature. Mama Gina, I'm about to put you on the spot. Mama Gina is one of our newly elected board members, but she has been like a firecracker since she started working with Soulardarity. Can we just give her a round of applause, please? So Mama Gina is responsible for this cute little corner over here with all the children not interrupting the meeting, eating their food patiently and calmly. But do you want to say a little bit more about what they're over here working on while we're meeting? You got it, Mike, for the Zoom.
Testing. There we are. Thank you. All right. So what we have is, youth energy activists. And what we're working on is our marketing products from our children. We've asked them to paint and color and design what their vision would be in a perfect world without littering, clean energy, recycling, the sun, the earth, saving our planet. They're doing an awesome job right now. So let's put our hands together for our youth energy activists for today. We're looking forward to putting together a children's book that will be able to go into the schools and teach our young people more and more at an early age. What we've done with our research in this industry, sometimes the impact of your work cannot be realized right away. As you will notice, some people take time to get accustomed to climate change and to solar energy. Otherwise, there would be 400 and 500 people in here. So what we have to do is invest in our young people because they have to pick up the work that we're doing. The impact might be 1 and 2 and 10 and 20 years. So we're investing in these young people in our new program called Yeah. Can you all say yeah? That's right, our youth energy activists, and I really appreciate to be here on the right side of history, and I really appreciate the board and the staff and your executive director, my executive director, Shamika. Thank you.
So one of the things that you'll notice at Soulardarity that makes us unique is that we try to think about problem solving as an intergenerational responsibility. So you'll see that there's a role for elders, there's a role for that wisdom, for that experience. There's a particular role for folks that have been living in Highland Park for the entire time that their streetlights were repossessed. There's opportunities for folks who have that political background and experience and wisdom to share as well. And so we want to make sure that we carry that all the way through. And we want to make sure that the youth understand that we're not just building this for our benefit, that we're building this for them to be able to take leadership and to see what that leadership is supposed to look like. All right, so for our reach and impact, I'm gonna let Soulardarity staff come up here and brag a little bit. If staff could just come up here and just mention one thing that you've worked on in 2024. We talked about the $8 million that we got from DTE. We talked about our grid infrastructure projects or work. I think Raphael keep leaving the room. Yes, he does. I'm about to call Raphael on the mic in a second. And we've also educated Michigan State legislators. You know, we do that policy work, and we raise a lot of money. So not only do we raise the money for our own streetlights when we do these solar installation projects, but we also raise money to get the word out. We raise money to be able to make knowledge known about some of the dark areas about clean energy. So when we think about clean energy, we mostly think about just like the street lights outside, the wires and the poles. But when some of the work that we've done has impacted in the entire grid. And so now we're moving into more grid distributed generation. And that's how our energy gets to us, not just who it comes from. Do you want to say anything about? Oh yeah, in that last one, we were working on blackout compensation. So if you notice that when you have a blackout, you now get a credit. Solidarity was leading in that work. We asked for a lot more. Trust me, we asked for a whole lot more, but we are taking baby steps. And so hopefully we'll see some more credits and reimbursements, especially to even cover just the hundreds of dollars of groceries that folks are losing, the fact that children can't go to school, etc. I'm gonna let Raphael talk a little bit more about some of the wonderful things that we've done. And if there's any other staff that would like to come up and just speak on something that they enjoy doing or working on, you could feel free to come on up. Keeping a note on time though.
Yeah. Yep. Tend to be the one that takes up a lot of time, so I try not to take too much space here. But so I'm assuming that Shamika walked you through all of the things that were listed there, but that is almost like a very small snapshot. One of the things that I like to say to people when they ask me what does Soulardarity do is, where should I start and how much time you got? Because for a small organization, if you were to look us up publicly on our tax filing, see what, our budget is, it's not really that much. But we get so much work done when it comes to advocacy work with our legislators. As Shamika was talking about, she, mentioned how we were educating legislators in Lansing when it comes to the immense impact that the blackouts have on our communities, especially in Highland Park and Detroit. And what may seem like a no-brainer to us, because we're experiencing it every single time the power goes out, sadly was a shock to some of our legislators, to the people that represent us, telling them the money figures that are involved that comes out of our pockets for however long that power stays out. And unfortunately, we have not been able to get those compensation rates up to where we would like them to be. It should be, first of all, a certain amount of money on an hourly basis for every single hour that the power is out. That clock should be ticking for how much they owe you on that compensation. And then two, they should be compensating you, keeping in mind also how much food spoiled in your fridge, how much you have to pay in terms of a hotel if you're fortunate enough to even have the money to stay in a hotel. And then also any costs of undue burdens you're putting on family members when you have to stay up in their spot. So we're continuously pushing on them. We're not going to let a single piece of legislation, if it's only going a tenth of the way or a third of the way or even half of the way, we're going to keep pushing them until they go all the way for what the communities deserve when it comes to DTE's extractive practices. We are also working on a local community level as well too. One of the things is that we need to really do as an organization is just get our name, the name Soulardarity, out there in Highland Park more, because people know about those streetlights, because they've been to Mama Shoes at Avalon Village, or they've been to Parker Village at Wands, or they drove somewhere in the community and saw this funny looking streetlight. First of all, thinking, I thought the streetlights were gone, and then seeing that there's a solar powered one with these weird rabbit ears on the top that's actually free public Wi-Fi. So we need to associate the name Soulardarity to those kinds of good acts, to those kinds of good works. And so we're hoping that you can help us do that by signing up as a member and helping us get out there and proselytize a little bit about Soulardarity's good work. And then also build even further out the work that we're doing right now. So I think that's pretty much all the space I'm going to continue taking up right now. I feel like the clock is starting to poke me, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's actually a fantastic question. I don't know if you remember me. You and I talked after one of the community meetings after DTE, when we were challenging them on the rates in front of the Michigan Public Service Commission. I'm really happy to see you here. That's a great question because the ownership is in the hands of the community. Streetlights that were there before were owned by DTE, and our goal is to bring back the streetlights, not through DTE, but through the ownership of the community, so they can never be taken away ever again. So that was a great question. Thank you. All right. I think we're ready to pass it on. Oh, one more. Yeah. So you bring up something that's really important about the work that we do, because it's not just about setting up infrastructure that will step back. Okay, we got to get some gaffer's tape or something to mark, where we need to stand or something. But it's about putting in infrastructure that's going to have multiple purposes and multiple benefits. It's not just about lighting up the streets. It's about community health. It's about public spaces. It's about ownership of those public spaces, like actually feeling like we can step in there and feel safe, and that belongs to us as community members. And in our work with Communities Leap, we're trying to work on a similar vision like that, where we can set up publicly accessible spaces for community that's renewable energy powered, but also improving individual instances of quality of life for people. So that if somebody's phone is starting to die, there can be a plug that they can plug into. If there is a pathway that used to be dark because when they were walking to the bus, it's lit now. We want to be able to provide those extra benefits to the community because Highland Park deserves that. Thank you.
Hello again, everyone. I am Michelle Jones. I am the State Energy Democracy Coordinator with Soulardarity. And I think Shamika simply asked that we talk about one thing that we're proud of working on. And took all my time. I'll make it real short. Ralph did mention the Michigan Public Service Commission hearing. That's what I'm proud of. We took the Michigan Public Service Commission to bat. They have been known to have hearings, but when the comments were made, they did not go on the official record. And so this time, we took them to bat, and we demanded that they put it on the official record. And we went downtown to Wayne County Community College. They were expecting about 100 people. I think it was close to 250 that showed up. They were expecting to get out at 8 o'clock. I think they got out at 8:30 because we wanted to make sure that the voices of those of us who are dealing with this is heard. Those of us that's dealing with outages, those of us that are dealing with high rates, those of us who are dealing with just DTE being a monopoly that just takes advantage of us. And they took those comments and they went on the record with those comments. Because of that, when DTE asked for $388 million increase in the rate, they only got $30 million. So Soulardarity is working hard.
Hello, everyone. My name is Katan Jones. I am the project manager for Grow Solar Highland Park, Detroit, Southwest, soon to be Wayne County. A couple of highlights that, or let's say items that I'm proud of are our ability to put the bulk purchasing program together under Grow Solar Highland Park. The point of it all is that these solar installations are generators. We are generating power and wealth for your house. That's a huge impact. You're not just putting up something to replace the monopoly. You're increasing power for your particular house, for your particular neighborhood. Little background, each house has a load. That load, when it's full, goes to the community. So the community benefits not only from the residential solar, but the bulk purchasing program, all the people in that community that have that solar. That's one of the things that I'm really proud of. We're moving forward with that. We had a few things that need to be taken care of in last year, dealing with a whole bunch of unbalanced, unsustaining partners, but these things have to be taken care of. We are doing things that have never been done before. We are creating solutions that have never been seen before, and this is why they will work. So, thank you.
Yeah, so I really appreciate the staff when they come up and I don't have to do all of the talking. They know I do a lot of talking in the meeting, so the more I could get a break from that, the better. But one of the things that was mentioned but wasn't really expounded on is our values. Our values are really important to us. We don't just throw up infrastructure. We make sure that it's sustainable. We make sure it will be maintained for the next 30 years. And that's another thing that makes us unique about what it is that we do and how it is we do it. If you want to learn more about our principles, there is a slide for this. Oh, nope, never mind, there's a slide. If you want to learn more about our principles and some of our values aligned partners, there's a pamphlet on the back table that's called Climate Justice Alliance, Just Transition Principles. And one of the things we're going to do in 2024 is hold a series of workshops to be able to teach the community what just transition is, what it means, how you can get involved, what does it mean at the local level and just in terms of your household, what it also means in terms of building with community. So take that pamphlet if you want to learn more about it, if you may be interested in doing that workshop series with us. Oh, I'm good. Okay. Speaking of our partners, we had a number of folks. It's not just us that do this work, which is why we're able to do so much in small periods of time. And so this is a list of, or the logos of all of our partners that we worked with this year. As you can see, I'm wearing the t-shirt of one of our partners, Reamp, who deals with more organizational strategy. You know, how are we going to move forward in a way where we're also moving together? And so several of us got a chance to do a convening that was held here in Detroit. I do a lot of speaking engagements. So I speak on panels. I'm the keynote speaker for a lot of different events. And so again, benefits of membership is that you get an opportunity to attend those events, most times for free, if you are a member of Soulardarity. I am not going to name all of these partners because there's a lot of them. But some of them are funders. As you can see right there in the center is Climate Justice Alliance, which is a wonderful organization who actually just offered us today through text message another $30,000 towards our 2024 work. So we're really proud not only to have the support of our community, but to have the support of others outside of our community who supports this community along with us. All right, so in 2024, we do have some fundraising goals. I mentioned that mere little $30,000. Although it's so big and valuable to be recognized by our partners, we have a long way to go in order to get all the things that we want to get done. And let me just tell you, the Soulardarity staff is not no joke when it comes to grant writing, when it comes to doing presentations, being paid. All of our honorariums go right back into Soulardarity. We do not get paid in our pockets. We only get what we get paid, and that's it. But it's some things that we want to be really ambitious about this year. We want to be able to see our operational budget at least $50,000. I'm sorry, $500,000. And last year we did that. We were able to pay all of our staff. No one missed a paycheck. No one missed any of their benefits, and we were still able to kick buns in our programmatic area and have those dollars set aside. This year we also won a new office, though. Our team grew so big, so quickly. We don't fit in our space, and we need support doing that. So this is a great example of a space that is the home of an organization, but also open to the community. We want to be able to do something similar in Highland Park or surrounding areas. So all of our operational funds, so this is when you give a donation, you become a member, it goes towards our operations. It covers our payroll, state required filings, utility costs, all of that stuff. Our new office, we still visioning. We want you all to vision with us. So we don't have a set price, but we do want to at least start at about $50,000 because we want to do something again sustainable. We don't want to just throw ourselves in some lease space with someone who may not be values aligned with us. And then at minimum, we want to do $250,000 towards our programmatic areas. That will support the work that Raphael, Michelle, and Katan just came up here and described, is going to the state legislator and being able to tell them what it is they need to do to support us. It's going door to door and having a solar bulk purchase program that's affordable and accessible. They can come together as a community and have ownership over that infrastructure that they're building together. But we also do other stuff like buy food from local vendors. And local vendors tend to be a little bit more because they're smaller. So we can do the cheap stuff and be able to have a lot of food that may not be as healthy, but we prefer to do local vendors, specifically Black and minority-owned, women-owned businesses. And we sometimes provide transportation. So we are in the process of opening up a business Lyft account. So folks, especially in the wintertime, I know it's hard getting out to these meetings. I know some of us have children. I know some of us are just not moving and shaking the way that we used to, and we might want to just hop in a ride and be in and out whenever we, based on our own time. So that's something else that we're working on. All right, so I named a lot of our partners. Here's our funders. It's not a long list, but the work that the funders do with us is very essential to us being able to do what we've done so far. And one of the things that we had as a goal was to not necessarily become reliant on foundation grant money. The reason why that is because foundation grant money always comes with strings. It's just a part of the relationship. And so if they give us $50,000, the expectation is that we target 500 people in our community to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Or we have to provide X amount of hours of community service or community educational events and workshops, which is not a problem. We were going to do that anyway. We would like the flexibility to be able to pivot when members say to us, okay, enough on the workshops. We already know. We need to know how to take action. We want to do more call to actions. We want to drive up to Lansing with y'all. We need a bus to be able to do so. We need food and water to be able to do so. We want to do energy resiliency kits where we put all the supplies a person would need to survive for 72 hours in the event of an outage. Soulardarity has always been known to be a membership-led organization, meaning you all make those decisions. And if you look in your handbook, there is an organizational structure that shows you that even the board listens and prioritizes what the members want. And so many of our board members are Highland Parkers themselves. So you can always just pull. If you can't get me, sometimes it's hard through email or phone, you always could just pull on one of our board members and mention if there's an idea that you have. Anyway, our funders also include our sustaining donors, right? So our sustaining donors are people who give the same amount of money every single month. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. We talked about our Jimenez principles. I'm gonna pause for a second, let our beautiful mama Akanke come up here. So we was just on that slide about the money. This is our money person right here. This is the person who keeps it all together.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mama Akanke Hill. I am the finance director for Soulardarity. And I just wanted to say just a couple of things. One, this is our second audit, financial audit ever. Our first one was last year. It was very successful. And so far this year, it's going really, really great. And we are doing great financially. We are working with our community and doing all of those wonderful things that we said we would do, and we can finance it. And the other thing that I do want to mention, I'm not quite sure if this is the time, but I was a little late getting up here because I had a very urgent text message. So one of our community leaders, some of you may know her, Mama Ife Tayo Karamoko, is making a transition. And her family is asking that we support them by coming out to the Ford Museum. And so I will check my phone again and leave some information for everyone. So that's all I have. I think it said Henry Ford Museum, but I'm gonna double check my phone. I read it really quickly because I was like stunned. I've known her for 20 years, and so it just hit my heart really heavy. And I don't know, like I know some people in this room do know her, but I'll have that information at our table for you when you get ready to go. Oh, I'm sorry. I also want to introduce Seven. He has a painting or drawing that he has done, and he would like to share those details with you all. Sit in the chair. I'll direct him to the chair. Can you hold the mic? Okay.
So what I would drew was everybody being able to run outside and not everybody being able to run outside and not worrying about house problems or anything. Just being able to enjoy themselves. For my picture, I wanted to draw. I didn't want to draw any buildings because usually like cell phones they mass produce it and it pollutes the air. So I didn't want to like draw any buildings. So just draw waterfalls in the tree and some people. Yeah. Okay, so this one is like my name is Honesty, and my picture is about like fireflies. It's like nighttime stars. Like enjoy being like a kid. So yeah. Okay, this one is about a bridge and the sunset is reflecting on the water. I didn't get to finish, but like water is life. Yeah.
All right, let's put our hands together one more time for the babies. All right, so you all have sat and listened to us talk far enough, and now it's your turn to get up, move around, talk to one another, network, and fellowship. So, oh, the slide isn't up yet. So what we're going to do, as opposed to going through every single program, every single thing that we do, that you will be here forever, we're going to break out into some groups of areas of interest to you. So this stage area will be used to go through our brand new website. If you're interested in seeing what that looks like, and if you want to give some feedback, please feel free to stay up here and do so. If you're interested in energy democracy, so energy democracy by definition means your ability to be able to speak for yourself and be more self-determining in what it is that you want, because you are the end user and the person most impacted by those energy decisions. We also have the Grow Solar Highland Park. Tom talked a lot about solar bulk purchasing. So if you're interested in doing that, please feel free. And there's all of these other teams of things that we attempt to do. So we have a board election action team. So if you want to support with board elections, if you want to be, just put your name on the list to be contacted to be able to vote in the board elections. You can sit over here with Odessa. Can you raise your hand? Odessa, you don't have to have handouts. It doesn't have to be. Just kick you with the people. I already saw your eyes. Yeah, and again, this is just kicking it. We're not trying to bog you down with a whole bunch of literature. We're not trying to weigh you down with a whole bunch of information. We're already dumping a lot on you. We want you to become a member so we can continuously let this soak in over some time, okay? We have our year-end celebration and action group. We do a sustainability and tech fair. We also have our Highland Park campaign team, and that is a group that is going to be talking about the next solar light installation. So if you're interested in doing that, see Raphael. We also have some things, fundraising. We have our Hermes principles that we focus on, and we do a survey every year. So if you would like to be a part of that survey where you get to judge whether Soulardarity is living up to these principles, please feel free. I'll be the point person for that. And we talked about the Grow Solar Highland Park. Oh, also what Katan didn't mention about the Grow Solar Highland Park program area is that we also do this thing called Rise Up Training, right? It's a scholarship program that allows for folks that are either been incarcerated and or between the ages of 18 to 24, looking for a new career path. If you're just Black and you want to empower yourself, you get a free scholarship. We provide all the materials. You can either do it in person or you can do a virtual. It's a really dope program. He'll be able to tell you more about that. And then at the end of every year, so just like we're meeting now, we also would like to start holding a sustainability growth and sustainability planning work group. And that's where board, staff, and members sit at the table. We hash out what we want to see coming up next for the following year. All right, so Darius. No, you're doing this up here. Website, Darius website, Grow Solar Highland Park Catan, Solar Streetlights, Raphael, Energy Democracy. Monica, do you mind joining with that group as well? Cool. And yeah, Max is also doing Highland Park work. And who am I missing? Board, anything dealing with board? Okay, I think that's all. That's enough stuff. I think that's enough stuff. Huh? So she's not doing notes for the breakout. All right, so yeah. Sometimes figuratively. Sometimes literally. Literally. So.
Even better. All right. So. Roll the camera. So we want to meet people where they are at. So first, when it comes to the programmatic areas, who is interested in our state policy work, our energy democracy work? That wants to learn. Don't worry, you're not going to be limiting yourself to one group. This is going to be kind of like speed dating. You're going to be learning a little bit on a high level what we do, And if you like that sampler of what we share with you, then we'll share with you even more details about how you can get more involved. So who is interested in energy democracy? Yeah. Okay. So Candace, you want to move over with the majority of the group over there? Oh, there's two more right here. Oh, hi. State policy. Okay. So maybe we can come to a compromise and meet at the center. And I never say that when it comes to talking to the legislators, because I'm sick and tired of compromise. All right. And then for Highland Parkers, who's interested in our Highland Park campaign work? Don't worry, it will touch on energy democracy. I see we've got Gracie right here. Okay. And then when it comes to our Grow Solar Highland Park Detroit program, when it comes to solar boat, we've got Catan over here. Anybody who's interested in solar? Or Rise Up training, creating more jobs in our communities with NABCEP certification. All right. And then we've got our website guru here who wants to share with people our new website that is going to be unveiled soon. Just giving you a sneak peek. All right. Absolutely. So any staff remaining should come to the website because that's what you're going to be working with and getting out there. All right. Thank you. I beg pardon? Going on the road? Oh, going rogue? Well, you and I are going to have to talk. Yeah, you should go do energy democracy because we like to storm Lansing. All right, perfect. Okay, Gracie, Miss Gracie, you want to come with me? I'm going to introduce you to our new Highland Park coordinator.
Just a real quick thing. Anybody who is on the board, how many people do we have here? Or just members? Anybody on the board? 2? Okay, we need your pictures before you leave. Because we have older board pictures, and the main thing that we need is content. Because that's been the biggest challenge that I've ever had doing with the actual community. So, anybody on the board? Content. Okay. I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot. I just want to make sure that we get it. And a group picture before we leave, too. Okay. Oh, you shut down the tree. Got it. Oh, okay. No, I was going to go over here. I thought people, because they were breaking out, so I didn't want you to have to do all that. Yeah.
Hello, I would just like to thank Coco, the comedian, for coming into the Zoom today. She is from Highland Park. Everybody put your hands for Coco, the comedian. She's from Highland Park, and she is all about what we're doing, so we want to thank her. We also want to thank Gerald here from Club NEP. Let me nudge him for a second. Club NEP, and also my other friend, Gerald, came. So I want to just thank personally the people that I asked to come out, and also our Coco, the spokesperson. Thank you.
She got the mic. So, hold on. I got.
Okay. Don't everybody rush. Excuse me. Excuse me. Everybody here? I know I was last to the poll or whatever, so I'll just talk through this while everybody's going through the actual other meetings. If that works out for everybody, I'm just going to click through the pages because this is probably the most boring part that you will see. So this is the old website. It's on the screen. I don't know how to explain it. This is the new one. So, oh, okay. We have all of our things on here that we're doing in the future. Oh, no, that's why I said I'm going to talk through it while everybody's doing their breakout groups because I was the last one. Oh, okay. All right. I'll just keep clicking through. Thank you, Mama Chef. So, supporters, these are the people who actually are on the streetlights. Nope. Okay, yep. I talked to Corey while everybody was breaking out, so that's what happened. That's why he was breaking out. Yeah. I'm 100% fine. Like I said,
I heard her.
Thank you. I might need them. No. Like people need to be like, come look at this, please.
I mean,
Because never go right out of town.
Ken is talking to Highland Park.
I wasn't trying to run for people's time. That's why I started talking.
Yeah, but that's, that was like that.
Don't want it. Direct.
Oh, what's happening? What's happening over here?
We're just getting remaining.
Yes. I'm glad you're having a cool time.
Yeah. over Park actually for the last like 5 days. We got the that's not on here. I think they came. So every provider has a partner. Oh yeah, I like that. Not one. There are actually people behind every street light that you all need. So has a list of names, but those people aren't documented anywhere. Yeah. So I went and I'm documenting all their names. Okay. Before the actual big contributors of the actual website. Yeah. Because they deserve the credit to the community. Okay, wonderful. We go through our about. About testimonial around here. Video and get to make people know. It gives more personalized feelings because people think, no, now that's it. Don't the time. What about the calendar? So calendar is so this right here is but I integrated the calendar here. So okay, whenever anybody goes to it or whatever, it's already on the calendar. Decide and set up and they want to see it or whatever. But if any changes are made to it, it automatically calendar. If it's location, time, whatever, RSVP, and give you driving direction. Oh, you said RSVP in there too? Yeah. You told me that functionality? I turned it on because I didn't want anybody to hear me click on it. I got to, but you are all calendar and yeah. And what about membership? So you have your register button right here. So anybody can register to be a member. They can go to the actual membership portal or whatever, and it will import CSV back into the actual whatever, or whatever, and we can have restricted content for the member. Okay. But contact is simply form. Okay. Also gives our map or whatever. So building that's up there, what about so the newsletter, media? No, we need actual newsletter. So things that we do, it's pretty much going to be the blog post throughout the month or whatever. We turn into the actual newsletter. Okay, so you know how we have the different events, every blog post is actually archived. I turned it off because I didn't want people to but that is actually great.
Gonna give 1 minute warning to everybody. All right, we're going to be convening back in 1 minute. 1 minute.
Yes, I believe I do. Donate. So this goes to our
All right, let's go ahead and start regrouping together. I know it isn't very much of a long date, but I think we got a good idea of each other's personalities here in this short period of time of breaking up. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Yeah. Just go ahead and put it at least like on the table so they can scan it themselves. All right, y'all. So how was it, everybody? Was it pretty good? I know that y'all are still trying to wrap up those final thoughts. Oh, that's right. The chair. The chair. Community organizers are not very good at sitting down. So, who wants to join an action team? Who wants to continue having these kinds of conversations that y'all just had a very brief moment of? Sure, if you want to do that.
When I say I go, you say I may. I go. I go. My apologies for interrupting the group. Raphael, just wants your attention for just a second, so if we can please divert our attention to the stage, that would be great, so he doesn't have to talk over you guys. Again, just for a moment, Raphael is requiring your attention, please. Thank you.
So, community action teams, we've got Highland Park, we've got the board, we've got energy democracy. It seems like actually energy democracy was kind of popping off over there. And we've got, so when are we going to Lansing, Michelle? Where are we going to be talking to some legislators about some not far-reaching enough legislation that they're talking about right now? And then it seems like, things were popping off also with our Grow Solar Highland Park Detroit program over here. People really want to figure out how we can make solar more accessible for our residents in Highland Park and in Detroit and also Southeast Michigan, I'm sure, because the people who need it are not just in those two areas. So if you really liked what you were talking about, if that what you were engaging with in this short, brief period of time, because I know you can't plan the revolution in just 5 minutes, join an action team, become a member. So every single person that you were talking to are the right people that you need to connect to when it comes to the programmatic work that you guys were just talking about. We also have people that have joined us in those two areas with Monica Booker. I'm sure you met her right here. And then Max, I believe, is right now monitoring the Zoom, but Max is our new Highland Park coordinator. And then we also have some additionally new people that are going to be enhancing all other areas of our operations. So we've got more people that we can connect with and start spreading out the influence of Soulardarity. So before you leave tonight, make sure that you let staff know what is the group that you want to really start learning more about how to get engaged with and to do the work with together when it comes to our programmed areas. So yeah, I'm going to leave it to Shamika right now to talk about how to formalize that a little bit more when it comes to our membership structure.
We have no time.
No time.
Do you want to cue slides or do you want me to do something a little off? So two other folks that we have helping us to do work is Jamila Humphrey, who's not here. She actually works out of state and she does our Oh, she's on Zoom? Cool. Shout out Mama Jamila, who's on Zoom. And she's doing our program management work to get these streetlights in the ground and up and visible, right? People in the back, I ain't trying to be rude to you. Yeah, I was just gonna wait until y'all got done. I know y'all still got more. There'll be more time, I promise. Okay. And then there's also our board treasurer and also our grant engagement specialist, who also works very well with the babies, Gina Tall, who's over here. And really quickly, I would like to just take a moment to recognize a particular staff person that works really, really hard and is always behind the scenes, but always doing all the things. And yep, can you bring those up? Can you cue next slide? All right, so I wanted to make sure I recognized the staff person when we were out of town in Indiana. And because I almost never have time to do all the things, I missed the deadline for the email. And so we wanted to recognize Michelle Jones. She can come back on. So we named this a special recognition. We do the Coochie Chocolate Awards at the end, but this award is called I Got You Award. And this award is for folks that are always showing up, even when it's hard. They are highly dependable. They are proactive. They go the extra mile because they're passionate about what they do this for. This is for folks that we want to spotlight that may not always get their flowers, but they still show up and have grown so much since they started. So this is us giving Michelle literally her flowers for the work that she's done. She also recently celebrated a birthday, and she was looking so fabulous and dynamic. If you ever want to know how to have a good time while you do this work, see Michelle. She got it down. Michelle, if you want to say something, you can. You don't have to. I don't want to put you that much on the spotlight. Ah. All right. I also want to acknowledge the hard work of one of our special guests. Rebecca, do you mind coming on stage? And I will bring the easel up. This is Rebecca. She has been our graphic recorder. So a graphic recording is a way of taking notes without literally writing verbatim everything a person is saying. We do enough of that in our meetings, so we wanted to try something a little bit different for this one. You want to tell us what we're looking at?
Yeah, absolutely. So from the beginning of the meeting to the end, I just basically was bringing together the largest and most important points of everything that was said and presented in this meeting today. So it starts with obviously the heading at the top, and I put the sun up there because obviously this is where our energy is coming from in this case, and it just goes right on down the line from the beginning of the meeting all the way to the end. This is obviously a very important organization that works with a lot of integrity and accountability. So I made sure to include that, even though it wasn't specifically noted. I just wanted to get all the important points out there because obviously we're trying to get the word out about this organization, expand it, and you know, obviously it needs to be something that goes you know, nationwide. There are a lot of other communities in the U.S. that have issues like this, maybe not as dire and imperative as we have with DTE, but it's really it's important to be able to get this out, and a lot of people work on a visual level, and you know, you draw all the basic things in, and you're able to get that forward in a succinct and quick way for people, especially in a day and age when we have like a few seconds of attention span. I myself, as an activist, I've been an activist since 2012, and I actively fight DTE every year. I put my solar Christmas lights out in not so supportive phrases against DTE. And I'm kind of a boots on the ground activist in my own personal life when it comes to fighting them. I use wind power, solar, and a generator to help power my home because I've been at odds with them for years as I've seen people die and freeze and starve in the cold and house fires and people dying from this. So it really is very, very important work that these people are doing here, and I look forward to helping to in any way I can.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Like I said, many hands make light work. And so these are some unique ways that we're trying to, one, reinvigorate the brand for Soulardarity, two, make sure that it's intergenerational and accessible so that everyone will be able to participate. And that includes all of the different ways that we learn as well. So this graphic recording will be added to our website, so you'll be able to go back and look at it. It'll also be a part of the follow-up email that goes out to you as well. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I don't know where I set the clicker. I set it down somewhere, but when I got my food. Does anyone see the clicker? So then, thank you. Thank you. All right, so this is our last little wrap up. We want to make sure that folks have an opportunity to finish their food, socialize, continue those conversations. I know how important they are, and I know how important our time is. So we want to get ready to start wrapping up, but we just want to remind you all that becoming a sustaining donor is very important to our organization. It's great to do one-off donations, but to be able to contribute and to look forward to dollars rolling in every month allows us to be able to plan ahead. We've been featured on Today's Show. I know you're gonna fuss at me for getting off camera. There we go. We are featured in college textbooks. We've been shown in national documentaries. We do all kinds of things to make energy democracy happen. And so we want you all to join us in doing that. You can become a dues paying member by seeing Mama Akanke over at the registration table. You also can go to donate, soulardarity.com/donate. And if you put /sustainer, it allows you to be able to set up reoccurring payments. We do not share your information with anyone, of course. And we are moving to a more secure website platform, which was shown earlier. All right, so we have memberships for everyone. We want to make sure that it's affordable and accessible. So Highland Park residents, it's only $10 for the entire year for you to be a member. You have access to the committees and action groups that address specific Highland Park issues. We have a general member tier, so that's anyone who's in Michigan but not a Highland Park resident. And that's how you get an opportunity to be involved in more of the energy democracy work, where we're either going up to Lansing or we're fighting against increases of rates, things like that. That sounds like that'd be right up your alley, Rebecca. And then we have an ally membership. So this is the actual cost of our membership. This is to be able to have access to the transportation, access to the childcare, access to the food, convenings, award ceremonies, T-shirts. I got some cool keychains over here for folks that are interested in having one. But to just really be able to participate at the maximum level. And also, an ally membership pays for the other someone else to be able to join as a general member. So that's that. We also opened up our tiers to include local organizations. We only have one local organization that has become a member so far. We still work with everyone, but that $100 helps us to subsidize our other members too. Yes, we grew. But these membership dues allow us to be able to subsidize some of the costs, helps us to be able to fundraise to our operations. It allows us to be able to, grow staff, all those things. But also it subsidizes other members that could not otherwise afford to become a part of Soulardarity. All right, so I already talked about all of this stuff. I'm not going to repeat myself. I really appreciate everyone who's come out. I appreciate General Baker Institute, Paradise Natural Foods, Rebecca for doing our recording, Gina for holding down the babies. I think this is the first meeting my children didn't run up on stage and interrupt me. So I appreciate that. Kyrie over here, as you can see, he has set up all of this to make this a hybrid experience that involves other folks that are on Zoom. Again, accessibility is so important. And Kyrie is the owner, founder of Creative Differences. Am I forgetting any other vendors? Oh, so the keychains that are on a table were handmade, hand carved by D. Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm messing the name up. Adorned by D. That's the name of the business. And so if you want more contact information, I have that just stored on my phone somewhere. But please feel free to grab a keychain. They're all made of wood and they're all made by hand. Any other questions before we part ways? You don't got to get all the way out. You just got to start wrapping it up a little bit as we clean up. You can still feel free to get more food. Please take as much food as possible. Finish up your conversations and ask us any questions that you may have. Oh, be careful. All right. Any questions before we go? Having none. You all have a good evening. Everyone, please get home safely. I forgot the survey. Raphael saying you have a QR code, which is on the screen. You can just scan that with your phone.
Like Zoom people can hear. Yep. Sorry, I'm going to stop screaming now. So yeah, there's a QR code that you can use if you are tech savvy with your phone. And then there is a physical version of it as well too at the sign-in table. We would love to hear your feedback. It is mainly just to hear about how we can engage you more and better in the way that works for you. So thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Enjoy the food, and we'll talk soon. Bye, Zoom. Oh, yeah. Check out the children's table. Look at all this wonderful artwork.